Up. Ridge at fullback, Hancock, Iro, O'Connor, Stokes, Lyons and Tuvey. The forwards changed, Hasler, Roberts, Jones, Hosking, O'Donnell, Bella. The coaches, Graham Lowe. And the Broncos travel down from Brisbane. They have a great record against Manly. And Shearer, last man out for Brisbane. He needs a blinder to try and improve on his position as far as test selection is concerned tonight. Dowling in a monumental clash today with Martin. Bella. Both have expressed rather unkind words about each other in the media. Hoff, Hancock, Shearer, Johns, Khan, Walters, Langer the backs, Miles the captain, Conway, Gilmeister, G, Walters, Dowling are the forwards. The coach is Wayne Bennett. And Bella, he will be out for the big one against Dowling. Dowling claims he's not good enough to be in the test arena. Graham Annesley again in charge of the match of the round. We welcome all viewers throughout New Zealand, United Kingdom, and of course all those rugby league fans in Papua New Guinea to this MMI big game between the Broncos and the Sea Eagles. Ridge looking towards the sun, gets it back to Stokes. And Stokes takes on the Brisbane backs. Miles comes in to assist Kevin Walters. The ball was lost. Stokes claims it was stolen. So again, some controversy at the start of another game. That rule once more. G, head down. What an opportunity for Brisbane here. 5 metres out from the Manly line. Langer. Johns. Forced back up the middle. Good defence from Manly. They pushed them back about 12 metres. Walters. Kerrod Walters to brother Kevin. Kevin Iro was up extra quick to chop it off. Langer. Miles to Conway. Conway's trapped. It'll be a handover. Now a penalty as the ball was thrown away by Conway. So the situation eases for Manly. The handover was called by Annesley, and Conway, after hearing the whistle go, just threw it away out the back. Another penalty. Just a little bit too much enthusiasm from Brisbane. So Annesley putting his stamp on the game early.
Still much of a settling in period at the moment, Graham. Both these sides are brilliant attacking outfits, but they'll need to try and control their heads and possession in this early settling down period.
Manly, their first chance down the other end. Lyons to Iro. He pushes up Kevin Walters, creates the extra man for O'Connor. Still down the sideline, O'Connor. Now he gets pushed out, but he keeps it alive back infield, taken by Kevin Iro. Right on the Brisbane 22. Plenty of ball movement. Tuvey looking to Matthew Ridge, who joins the line. He gets it back to Hasler. Stepping out of a couple of tackles away from Kevin Walters. Tuvey coughs it up. A simple pass. Tuvey just couldn't control it. There'll be some nerves in this one. Vital importance, and Billy Anderson, we've got great conditions here at Brookvale.
Absolutely perfect, Graham. The sun's shining, there's little breeze, and, well, I'm looking forward to a spectacular game. I can't think of anywhere I'd rather be.
Hoff, 32 out now. Manly told to stay outside of the 5. They really can lay on the points, these two sides. And it's Manly who were on 19 Winfield Cup points this time last year on 20. Brisbane 16, 23 last year. 263 points amassed by Manly. 31 more by Brisbane. And the Broncos having a better defensive record. Quick play of the balls from both sides. Kerrod Walters with the switch to Kevin Walters. Miles around the back. What a ball, but Hoff couldn't handle it. Now Lyons. He's taken by Langer. Tremendous clash amongst the halves today that could really decide the outcome.
Exactly, Graham, and I always found that playing against Brisbane in particular, you've got to move up quickly on the fringes of the ruck and try and stop that ball getting out wide, because they are very, very potent out there. But just the same, Manly are pretty good out wide as well, particularly with Michael O'Connor and Kevin Iro as a centre pairing.
Well, Iro was determined to get off to a good start in this one. He's looking for the ball. Already he has beaten a couple of defenders. Bella. He and Dowling haven't come head-to-head yet. Ridge takes his time to get the kick in, but it's travelling straight to Hoff. What a mistake. What a mistake from Hoff. He just seemed to lose it right at the end. He got himself into all sorts of trouble.
There's plenty of pressure on Paul Hoff to retain his test spot, and I'm sure that's going through his mind at the moment. He needs a good start to this match to build his confidence.
Turvey with the feed for the Sea Eagles. Hancock off his wing. He runs the ball to centre field. They continue to wrap it through the forwards. Jones. Powerful try he scored against Canterbury to wrap up the game last weekend. Now a little knock on against David O'Donnell. I talked about some nerves out there, coming up with some unforced errors, both teams. Touch and go, that one.
Yeah, but also Bob Conway was lucky he didn't get pinched there for being in the play of the ball.
Hancock. Again today the chance for Hancock and Willie Kahn to impress test selectors for a wing spot. And that would probably be at the expense of another teammate, Dale Shearer. Conway. Barreled in the tackle by Ian Roberts. Gerard Walters looking for an early run from dummy half. Langer. Miles. Trying to work it away from their own half. Now down to the last tackle for the kick. Langer keeping it fairly low, driving it away from Matthew Ridge. Now, the Broncos didn't look to be a complete 10 metres back. Annesley was quite happy with it. Hancock. Manly have beaten Brisbane only twice out of 8 clashes. In fact, only 1 win out of 3 against Brisbane here at Brookvale. Stokes to the outside of Hancock. He can only get it back inside to Dale Shearer. Now Shearer was heading out over the sideline. He will get a penalty. He was asked to play the ball. Manly thought they had him travelling, but Annesley must have called out play it.
Yeah, if the referee calls play the ball, you've got to immediately let the tackle player play the ball, otherwise you can see the penalty. And we can see here that 3 Manly players were intent on pushing Shearer over the sideline. We couldn't hear the call, but obviously there was a call of held, but the Manly players continued with the tackle.
Now the Broncos will continue in possession just outside the Manly 22. Dowling taken. G. Big hit on Gilmester from Roberts, but he took it and still managed to get a ball away. Not a good one, though. Hancock tidies things up. A wide ball out to Conway, stepping on the fringe of the ruck. Manly with that 22-12 win over Canterbury in the last round. The Broncos 20-10 over Newcastle. Chris Johns into the 22 and it's on the last. Langer keeping it alive to Conway, but it was a pressure ball. Bella now taking on Shearer. Can't get away from him. They decided to run it on the last there, but it wasn't a good option. Langer's pass to Conway. Nothing going for him as the defence was sweating.
And already in this match, we just see how much both these teams emphasise attack. Normally, you would see teams in the early exchanges in a match settle play down and try and gain the hard yardage, but not these two teams.
Now Tuvey. Tuvey getting pushed back. G coming in with a shoulder charge on him. Lyons waiting it out wide for O'Connor. Quick hands. Hancock forced back in field. He meets a dead end in the shape of Gilmeister. Bella to Lyons to O'Connor off the side of the boot. All the way back on the last end. It's a handover for Brisbane. And on the first tackle, the Broncos like to get it wide to the back line. Johns allowed to step out of a few tackles. President's Cup today, it was Brisbane 22, Manly 6. And in the reserves, Brisbane 22, Manly 16. Nearly a chance for Max Kulich's reserve grade side to post their first Winfield Cup points. Shearer very close to the sideline. Khan, if he could have hung on to it and kept his balance, was a chance to get the try. Great balancing act from Shearer down the sideline here, hurdling a player right near the chalk, looking back inside to Khan. He couldn't take it at the first grab.
And that's another example of just how much these two teams are prepared to push the ball in search of a try.
Lyons back into Michael O'Connor. A lot of handling errors already. 5 against the Sea Eagles, only 4 Brisbane. Roberts wound up, taken low by Miles. In the first round at Lang Park, the Broncos were too strong. 12-2 over Manly. A little bit of revenge also on the mind of these Sea Eagles. Ridge taken 40 metres out from his own line. Hosking. He's been out a long time with a knee injury. Lyons keeping this one low behind Willie Khan. Hasler forcing him across the paddock into the arms of Tuvey, and he also assists. Hancock. Interesting to see how Manly get to the line in this one. Hosking well short of match fitness. 0-0. And they'll be missing Cunningham and Dunford out of the pack real workers. Both players suspended after that spear tackle last week in the match against Canterbury.
And a win vital for both teams. Obviously Brisbane to push for a top 5 spot.
Here goes Langer. Langer to Kevin Walters. To Kevin Walters. He needs a runner. Ball is lost. The ball is thrown away. Now it's the first time I've seen it happen. A player has been penalised for releasing the ball, trying to get a penalty. It goes against Kevin Walters. Annesley seemed pretty positive about it.
Yeah, we couldn't see much on our replay there, but the referee was perfectly positioned to rule on that situation.
Bella to Hosking. Hosking is towards midfield as Roberts hobbles with the trainer. Tuvey. Kevin Iro. A lot of stray ball in this game. Roberts to the sideline.
And speaking about loose ball, Graham, I really think this match is going to be determined by possession of the ball. Both teams are such good attacking units and can counter-attack so well that the match is going to ultimately be determined by whoever controls possession the most.
Gilmeister. Now, it looks to be maybe a calf muscle injury for Roberts, as Hancock gets a chance against Stokes. He flicks it back infield, so another mistake. Knocked back the one against Lyons. We might call them the entertainers, Bill, but it's certainly not mistake-free.
Well, that's right, Graham. Ball control is going to be important. I think Brisbane have been doing that a little bit better than Manly over the last few weeks, but the wild card for Manly's Matthew Ridge.
Here's a wild card here as Johns puts his boot to it. No advantage for Brisbane, so it comes back for the knock-on against Manly. Some very, very scrappy play. Everybody wants to get it out wide, but they're not doing it too safely. If Johns had been able to toe that straight ahead, he was a chance. It went back towards Lyons.
It's a pretty accurate statement there, Graham. Both teams content to throw the ball around from the first and second tackle. Neither side prepared to do the hard work.
The crowd thought Miles might have knocked that on from the scrum base. Now Willie Kahn beats one. Something's got to give. If you're going to keep on making mistakes at your own end, you'll end up paying. Kerrod Walters, Dowling to Miles, to Kahn, but Kahn had nowhere to go because Hancock was right alongside.
Manly made these same mistakes last week at Canterbury. The Bulldogs didn't make them pay. Brisbane might.
Langer, Kevin Walters, John straightening. It's only 15 metres away, but they only have one tackle remaining. Langer, midfield bomb. Ridge looking to climb. Did he touch it? 6 more tackles, he did. The absolute test for the Manly defence now. Dowling to settle things down. He stands only 11 metres out. Kerrod Walters to the short side of the field. Gilmister. Now they have the ground opened up to their back line. Langer wide. Miles cut out. Now Johns. Miles gets in now. Looks to get Shearer started. Now Hancock back on the midfield. He was tackled. Quite rightly, Annesley says he was tackled. He was tackled because Lyons always had hold of his leg, and he wasn't allowed to restart. The penalty, quite rightly, as I said, went to Manly.
You can't argue with that decision. His progress was held, and as you say, Lyons still had a hold of him when the progress was stopped.
0-0, Manly and Brisbane. Bella hitting it up strongly. Just short of their own halfway. Jones now. Lyons crossing. Changing to the direction of the attack. Chris White was listed to start the game. He gets off the bench early because of Roberts going to the sideline. Ridge keeping along the deck. Very casually taken by Michael Hancock. Off. Another who some feel might be under pressure in the test side. I thought he did enough in his first test.
And that dropped ball in the first couple of minutes wouldn't have done his confidence all that much good either. He's a player that likes to play on confidence. He's been out with a knee problem. He missed last week's match, so he needs a big match today.
Kevin Walters with the break. O'Donnell chasing him to the sideline. Great cover from the hooker. He showed a good turn of speed to stay with the Brisbane 5'8" and to cut that one out.
Yeah, great work. This is the sign of strength from Kevin Walters. He just burst into the clear, got a good touch of pace too, but great covering from David O'Donnell, and he came across. That was great work from the hooker.
Lyons to Kevin Iro. He wrong foot Shearer, throws the dummy. Shearer comes again, but he still gets it to O'Connor. So Iro was causing some minor headaches. Chris White. The ball comes free with the impact of that tackle from Andrew G.
Yeah, this game played at 100 miles an hour, and the defensive line out wide is already starting to show signs of that. They're moving up a little tardily out wide, and they've really got to concentrate out there because that's where Brisbane will catch them out.
Shearer now. a Manly player. And the crowd always ride him here, going up against the old club. Langer allowed to step, allowed too much room. Miles, a one-hander back to G, to Conway, kicking ahead for Khan. Hancock getting back, and he'll be taken 3 metres out from his own line. Ridge, trying to improve things, only took it across the paddock, and he's only a metre away. Hasler, a lot of tackles being used up quickly by Manly. Brisbane smelling a bit of a chance here to force the mistake. Dowling and Bella did come together. Good tackle from Dowling. Lyons to Hancock, when he gave Hancock no chance there with that in pass. O'Connor to get out of trouble and to split Hoff and also Michael Hancock. What a great tackle from little Jeff Tuvey.
And no sign there of that shoulder injury, which has plagued him throughout the week. He's obviously 100% right.
I think the shoulder pads are bigger than Tuvey. He tried to make another tackle. Now Langer. Well, they can't keep giving him so much room. It's a luxury for a player of his class. Hoff picked that one up well, and he goes straight through. Some sloppy defence. Kevin Walters to Miles. He got a bad ball back on the inside. Kevin Walters picks it up. Now to Khan. He was straightening. There was a little bit of a gap for him. Plays it quickly. It's on the last. He gets it back. But Manly have it only 4 metres out from their own line.
Yeah, good thinking there from Khan. He saw he had no marker, so he decided to tap the ball ahead and go for himself. But the cover defence came across too quickly for him. Manly here have trouble getting out of their own quarter, Graham. I mean, they're a side that loves to attack in good field position, but they definitely have trouble getting out of their own quarter.
Kevin Iro nearly did well. Now Hosking. It's going to be difficult for Hosking the way the game opens up. He likes to do a lot of work up the middle, and coming back from injury, he'll be covering a lot of territory at the moment, the way this ball's being moved around.
Looking a bit worse for wear as well.
Slight cut to the nose. Kevin Iro. Now the ball was forward. The big question is whether Hasler was offside and whether it should have been a penalty.
Yeah, it could have easily have been a penalty here.
Now, had Hasler gone past him before the ball went free? Yes, he had. Should have been a penalty to Brisbane, not just a scrum. He was in an offside position. Johns. The ball went back. Now, Annesley looked for some assistance to the sideline. That's something that we'll never criticise. The touch judge and the referee acting as a good unit, as a team. The crowd felt that Johns lost it forward, and the touch judge gave a call to Annesley.
Yeah, Annesley did the same thing last week, actually, and made a good decision based on the touch judge's report. He did exactly the same thing again there.
Lyons. A dummy to Iro. And he gets away from Shearer, now ankle tap. Stokes with a chance. Shearer has already missed 3 or 4 first-up tackles in this game.
And a surprising turn of pace there from Cliff Lyons as well.
The crowd roaring now for Manly. Bella to Ridge. Quickly to O'Connor. Craig Hancock away from the sideline. O'Connor. He thought about that blind side, but now back to the open. Lyons. Well, I guess that might sum up Cliffy Lyons, who can do something so brilliant. And then in the space of 60 seconds, a simple knock-on like that.
But there was no depth in that Manly backline at all then. I think they weren't ready to receive the ball, and it just came out their way. It was a poor option.
Gilmister to Langer. Langer with a good ball to Johns. Langer. I think that's one of the first occasions that he's, if not the first occasion, that he's really been trapped with the ball.
Yeah, that's where Manly will commit football suicide if they continue to give Langer and Kevin Walters too much room to move.
Ridge takes this one nicely. And the big crowd here, sitting in brilliant sunshine. He climbed above Conway there and took it well under pressure. Hosking. That's the sort of run that Lowe is looking for, and a great ball to Craig Hancock. Another great ball to O'Connor. O'Connor on Hoff. He kicks ahead. Now, what's the call? Annesley says nothing wrong. The crowd really riding Annesley here. Should it have been a penalty? Should it have been a penalty try, or was the referee right? Hoff coming in. Is he committed? I think he was. That's a good call.
Yeah, the big question was, had he committed himself to the tackle before O'Connor kicked the ball? I think he did. I think the referee made the right decision.
O'Connor might have just thought about kicking a little bit earlier. He left it right to the death. Shearer out the back for Gilmester. 0-0, Manly and Brisbane. Conway. Something's really got to give. Because with these mistakes, there would have been 2 or 3 opportunities, good ones so far in this game for either side to post some tries.
Yeah, neither side able to work themselves into a situation where they can control the ball and maintain pressure on the opposing try line. They're just squandering chances through taking too many risks.
Hasler gets it to O'Connor. That's forward. Well, I thought the ball to Craig Hancock was well and truly forward. Jones.
And this game really taking its toll on the players. You see the Manly players within 15 metres of one another, the whole team. So they're obviously getting a little tired at the moment as well.
O'Connor and Iro have had a lot of touches of the ball. Hosking 40 metres out. He will play it on the last tackle for Manly. Ridge. A big chase here for Michael Hancock, who I don't think will get there in time. Yes, he does. Now, all the Manly players on side. They'll be trying to get him 5 metres out from his own line. Once more, it is Jeff Tuvey. And Tuvey trying to put paid to big Paul Hoff. That's a good run from him, though, to get out near the 22. Tessman. He's out there as Dowling goes to the bench. Miles slipping. 17 handling errors. Quite a statistic.
That's an amazing statistic in only the first half of a match, and it just goes to show that how many risks both teams are prepared to take.
The kick from Langer. His form has been solid. Craig Hancock. Taken by Willie Kahn. Matthew Ridge. Jones. What's the story on Ian Roberts, Bill?
They're hoping he's going to be able to go back onto the field, Graham. He's got no feeling in his foot, in one foot, because of that calf injury. It must be some sort of nerve damage, but they're working on it, and they are going to make every effort, obviously, to try and get him back on.
Hasler. It was nearly intercepted, that pass to Lyons by Miles, but they get 6 more. Now Tuvey to Kevin Iro from broken play. He's a danger. He's a big danger. Out to Stokes. Stokes swiveling out of 1. Iro has been threatening to get away. So is O'Connor. Now Ridge. If he could have got that to Hasler, he was away. O'Donnell up the middle to Bella. Bella back to Ridge. Ridge looking both sides. Running out of options. Good tackle from Tessman. Hosking. Looking for those hard meters up the middle. To try and get it started forward so they can go wide. Lyons. Lyons with a dummy. Hassel will be inside. Lyons looks to O'Connor. I said they've been threatening, and that is Cliffy Lyons at his best. They stood and looked at him on the MMI replay. Just watch his skills. Gilmister stayed off him. Langer went to the outside. The dummy got him through. He had a mile of support on the inside, and O'Connor breaks that deadlock.
This is how Brisbane's a sliding defence, which can be effective, can fall down. If you fall for a dummy at all on slide defence, there's no cover coming across at all. You're gone, and that's exactly what Trevor Gilmeister did. He shook his head in the background. He knew he made the error. Cliffy Lyons, side of the try line, did extremely well to commit Paul Hoff, and Michael O'Connor, as he always does, backs up on the inside and scores his 6th try of the season.
It took 30 minutes to break that 0-0 scoreline. And the Broncos are the ones that have got to come back straight away. .43 from 53 for Ridge. What a record. Tremendous season from him. That is the look at the post for Ridge. Plenty of concentration. About 7-8 metres in from the sideline. It's quite amazing, isn't it? From anywhere on the field, he adds the extra 2. 6-0. Manly over Brisbane.
You fuck up and walk around and one side.
Conway will have this restart for Brisbane.
Gene Miles limping to the sideline. Renouf ready to go on.
Annesley just keeping some players back behind the halfway line before the kickoff. He had his eyes on Miles, who was out wide talking to a trainer. Stokes. He's well behind the front line, Miles. He'll have to move up smartly now if Manly get it wide. Jones. Manly starting to get a little better of play. Bella with a strong surge.
And playing some sensible football as well. They're working the ball up in tight, close to the rucks, one off the ruck or from dummy half, and that's really what they've got to do, just try and settle this game down.
Manly players were calling for 6 extra tackles from Annesley. He said no. Now it's on the last. Ridge with a good kick. He's been finding himself into some good position. And what a great break. So a super goal from Ridge. Now a great tactical kick that gets Manly well and truly downtown.
Yeah, and a very good kick, as we see from Matthew Ridge. I mean, anyone that can drop the ball within 2 metres of a line and work that sort of a break to gain touch, it's a big effort. And Matthew Ridge is on a bit of a high with Manly this week. Gene Miles there receiving some attention frantically on that leg, but they can't afford to have him off the field for long. But with Matthew Ridge, I was going to say, he signed a 2-year contract with Manly this week, and it's good to see him keeping the pressure on in this game.
Renouf got his first touch, but Manly were offside.
Interesting change, this change that Wayne Bennett's made. He's put Kevin Walters into lock. Renouf's gone into the centres and Shearer at a 5'8". Now, their reserve grade was involved in a very tough game today against Manly, and I think he's a bit concerned about putting a player on who's not fresh, so he's used his fresh man now.
Andrew G. Not so fresh, but still trying to get it past halfway. Tessman. 8-6, the missed tackles going against the Broncos. A switch of play. Shearer. Unhappy start to this game for him.
Received a nice boo from the Brookvale crowd as well. He's obviously not one of their favourites anymore.
Off. Last tackle. Langer kicking back across the play for Khan. Coming down on Tuvey. Well taken. He took it beautifully and then still broke the tackle of Khan. Hancock. He gets to the midfield, 12 metres out from his own line. That was the pressure of the kick back for Khan.
And that's a ploy that we've seen on 3 or 4 occasions this year, and unfortunately for Willie Khan, it resulted in no tries on 3 occasions.
Tuvey to Hasler. The story on Gene Miles, Bill.
Similar one to Ian Roberts. It's a calf muscle. I don't know whether it's the cold weather down here, Graham, but they're hoping that he'll go back on, and I've got a feeling that he will. This is a vital game for the Broncos. They can't afford to have too many troops not out there to participate.
Ridge, this one off the side of the boot. There was a bit more pressure on him on this occasion. Hoff. Stepping against Iro. He beats him. Look at this run from Hoff. That's the sort of form that got him to State of Origin and Test football. Now Renoff. He was allowed a lot of room. The defence didn't get down there quickly enough, and when it did, it was only in the shape of one man, Iro. It was a broken line. Now it's Langer just outside the 22. Tasman. 6-0. Manly lead over Brisbane. G. Working play with Gilmister. Now does Langer kick again? He does. I thought he might have risked his arm. Taken easily by Ridge. So Manly starting to build a little in confidence in both defence and attack.
Yes, Manly looking a little bit more stable at the moment. They've settled down their play somewhat. They're not taking as many risks with the ball as they were early on. And obviously with 6 points on the board, that's the signal to settle things down somewhat.
Ball was lost, or was it stolen? Langer to Renoff. Ball goes behind him, they lose it. Great chance for Brisbane that has gone missing. Langer picked up the dregs. I wasn't sure whether that ball was broken clear or stolen. And Renoff, he lost it in the force of the tackle. O'Donnell, here come Manly. Stokes.
I think I'll have to take that comment back about settling things down.
O'Donnell looking for some support. He finds Chris White. He gets it to Hasler. Hasler a one-hander to O'Donnell. And Shearer ended up tackling both of them. Hosking. Head down, straight ahead. Inside the last 5 minutes before half-time. Tuvey. O'Connor was going to go inside. Now decided to stay outside. Stokes into the clear. Stokes throws it over the sideline. They had big numbers there, Manly. They just couldn't work it the right way. The ball ended up somewhere near the crowd. Stokes to the clear. And he had O'Connor, Ridge, and Iro inside and outside. Missed everybody, including the touch judge.
Both sides are manipulating one another's backline defences out of position, and they're finding plenty of holes out wide, but Kevin Iro, he's proving a real handful.
Shearer. He loses it. Before half-time, Brisbane might be digging a grave for themselves here. Iro. Now, how late was that tackle? Andrew Tasman really did snap here. He was tackled for a long time. Just the warning from Annesley, but a chance at 2 points for Manly.
Yeah, that's just frustration there. He obviously wanted to slow the play of the ball down, but that's not the way to go about it. It was a silly thing to do leading up to half-time.
Matthew Ridge. Just outside the 22. Successful with his first kick from wide out. The Manly club rate this man the best in the business. Very simply, that is why. Another 2 points to Manly, and all of a sudden it is a good lead now. 8 points to 0. Time off from Graham Annesley as we await the most important ingredient, the football. There's the siren, though. It will beat everybody. Wayne Bennett heads for the tunnel in the dressing room. And a great ovation here from the home fans for this Manly team who take a good lead into the break. Brisbane have injury problems. So too do Manly. A lot of mistakes from both sides. But that advantage and comfort for Manly. 8 points to 0. Just a few clouds in the sky. It must be an Englishman, surely. And Michael O'Connor brings back his Manly Sea Eagles, who started to put it together, especially in the latter part of the first half. Some injury concerns for both sides. It will be interesting to see who does get back out there in the second half. A lot of handling mistakes, but that could be telling with the pressure of this game from two sides who need to win to put pressure on top 3 and top 5 positions. Langer leads back the Broncos. They will need him at his very best in this second half. He's got a lot of work to do to really live up to that little legend tag. Eight 0 Manly will start this second half over Brisbane on our MMI big game. Annesley makes his way out there. Plenty of support for Brisbane here at the Brookvale Oval. 103 first half tackles made by Manly. O'Donnell, a busy hooker. 16, 12 tackles to Jones. Brisbane, 90 tackles. Conway with 14, G 13. Annesley gets us underway. And Jones drives us straight down the centre of the field. Awkward ball for Hoff. Luckily, it was Khan who was behind him. David Hosking made the most of the hit-ups up the middle. With 8 for Manly. G with 5 for Brisbane. Now, what a mistake from the kickoff. Willie Khan trying to get the ball out of there, just lost it in the tackle. Now Lyons. O'Connor. Just what Wayne Bennett, the Brisbane coach, didn't order. Jones. O'Donnell switching to the back line. Tuvey with some numbers and a chance, cutting out Iro to Hasler. Ridge. He had to stop a little to take that ball. Bella right up to middle strongly. Hosking. Manly appearing to set themselves for something. Lions getting close to the ruck. A run around with Tuvey. Now the kick out wide for Stokes. Hancock allows it to bounce. That can be dangerous. Well, he was pretty casual about it all. Luckily, the bounce was good for him. He looked as though he should have really made sure of it by taking it on the full.
Yeah, a risky thing to do, particularly when it was a planned move and Manly had 4 players coming through in support. But fortunately got the bounce, as we can see here.
He had time to get there too on the full, but he didn't. Now, quickly they kick Brisbane. Conway. Ridge. Shearer shows him the sideline. 45 metres out from his own line. One telling statistic from the first half has been the number of handling mistakes from both sides. 12 against Manly, 10 against Brisbane. And Manly have made 8 of those on or before the second tackle, whilst Brisbane have made 7 before the second tackle. Jones. He just bounced Alan Langer out of the way, and Langer went under a couple of his own troops. O'Donnell to Hasler, probing for an area to make the break. Lyons dummying to O'Connor. Now Stokes back over his head anywhere. Luckily O'Connor was there. O'Connor travels about 15 metres backwards. They were nearly 40 metres out from the Brisbane line, so losing some territory. Ridge with the kick. Hancock takes this one on the full, and he takes it well too, running back towards his own line. Were they unhappy at half-time, those coaches, Bill?
Well, they both stressed ball control as a priority, and the number of handling mistakes would emphasise that, Graham. Wayne Bennett spoke about Cliff Lyons to his defence at length. He wants them to keep putting pressure on and jamming in on him, and well, Graham Lowe was obviously a lot quieter than he was last week. That was a pretty heavy talk last Sunday here, but he was a lot quieter today. But he spoke about his team's enthusiasm. He thought they were playing very well, but he did mention, give particular mention to Alan Langer. But it's going to be an engrossing second half, this.
There's Langer now, working with Kevin Walters. To Shearer. You don't think his old crowd here didn't enjoy that. A very unhappy match for him.
Yeah, every time he touches the ball, they give him a bit of a serve, and understandably so for this, because that was a pass that should have been taken.
Tuvey just beats Langer to the ball. Stokes taken by Gilmester. The scrums are 6 apiece. Chris White. The forwards running without much support. Hosking, his first receiver for Lions. To Kevin Iro. Dale Shearer just hasn't been able to grab him at all on the first attempt.
He's almost a 2-on-1 proposition, Iro. I don't know that anyone can hold him.
Now the penalty. Some pushing and shoving in the play of the ball. Iro trying to play it quickly. I guess in the first instance, did he play it properly? Although Shearer did have his hand on him, and he's not supposed to. Now Bella. The Broncos can't afford Manly to be the first scorers from the break. Hosking. Big open field. Tuvey to Lyons. To Ridge. Hammered over the top by Conway. But bouncing quickly to his feet. Lyons throws it behind Jones. Again on early tackles it comes unstuck, but out wide it was Ridge who used Iro as a good decoy, and then Conway just put pay to him.
Superb anticipation there from Bob Conway, because Ridge was halfway through that gap. It could have easily led to a try, but it was great work, great tackle.
Not a good start by Brisbane since half-time. But John shows everybody the way up the middle. 8-0 Manly over the Broncos. Langer Kevin Walters can't. Off out near the wing. It was Langer in the last round who produced a big second half. He will need to be Clark Kent now in this one. What a mistake. O'Connor right under the post. How easy that was for Michael O'Connor. He could be forgiven if he thought tomorrow was Christmas Day on the MMI replay. Straight into his arms, nobody at home. It was just sprinting practice. And he did it slowly, right under the black dot.
Yeah, Brisbane definitely had an overlap out wide. Andrew Testament thought it was on, but he took the wrong option because he didn't see Michael O'Connor perched, ready to take that intercept. And O'Connor did, as he's done a number of times throughout his career, take intercepts, and he goes over for his second try in this match.
The Manly skipper sets up this ground with a chant. And a big crowd here too, trying to get Manly home. If you think O'Connor was presented with a gift, if you're a goal kicker as good as Matthew Ridge, and your record is 2 from 2 today also, when they're in front, you may as well just already put it in the books. Manly 14, Brisbane 0. This Manly crowd believe they have a side online maybe for the top 3. Their coach Graham Lowe still looking pensive. Brisbane. What a challenge it is for them now.
Yeah, Brisbane with it all to do. They struggled from the kickoff. They knocked on from the kickoff and couldn't get out of their own territory. And as a result, they're further behind on the scoreboard.
Hosking to Lyons. Chris White. Hosking again. Doing a good job for Graham Lowe. Lyons sights a gap up the middle. He was nearly gone. Good tackle from G. Stopped him. Ridge running it with a bit of a chance on the last. Tuvey breaking clear. Still going. Now to O'Connor. Out to Craig Hancock. Lyons. Magic play. Hasler. Michael Hancock's there. Powerful tackle from Gilmeister. Really put paid to Hasler, but some startling ball play from the Sea Eagles. Some sensational play. Just catching, keeping it alive. Now, just watch the way Hasler is finished off. Gilmeister hammers him well and truly bang. The head goes into the ground. Brisbane needs something big to turn it around. It's all Manly.
I don't think that thing will be Gene Miles. They keep telling us that he may be going back, but if he's going to, he'll be playing in his T-shirt.
Well, if you're going to use him, Bill, it would have to be right now.
Well, he's sitting there in his T-shirt and tracksuit on, Graham. I doubt that he's going back, but they're not saying that.
The problem's for Kerrod Walters. Or is it Kevin? Kevin it is. Not quite sure what happened. Doesn't help if you're about 16 and a half or 17 stone and you're Martin Bell and you fall on top of a 5'8". Langer looking for the sideline. Won't get it. Well, there's Miles. Shower changed. He looks as though he's on his way home. I'll do it without the captain. Jones. They still have plenty of matches at home, Brisbane, in the run to the semi-finals. But today's one, a win here, it might have convinced me that they were probably headed for, at the very worst, 4th or 5th spot. Still some mistakes with those hands. Always trying, even from the deep, to keep things alive, Manly.
But Brisbane's a side that you can't, even though they're behind by 14 points to nil, you can't write them off at this stage because there's so long to go. They can put points on the board. They can put 2 or 3 tries on the board in the space of 5 or 6 minutes.
Long way to go in this game. Langer is the man for Brisbane. Dowling to G. Bad ball back for Hoff, but he has it. Right on the 22. More enthusiasm coming from Manly at the moment. Kerrod Walters to Chris Johns. He gets it to Kevin Walters. Under a high tackle. Langer. Tessman. Tessman beats one. Gilmister looking for a runner. Conway is there. Good defense from Manly. Kerrod Walters, Dowling. Dowling will be wrapped up, and that will be the handover. Little Jeff Turvey will start off some of the work for Manly.
Now it's time for Manly to go back to basics with the runs from guys like Bella, Hosking, and also Jones, because those sort of guys are the guys that have got to do the hard yardage down here.
Well, Cliff Lyons wants to switch it instead to Hasler. Through the hands of O'Connor. Still trying to work this Brisbane defence around. Hasler. Another try. Manly believe they might be able to put pay to this Brisbane side. 14-0. O'Donnell. A one-hander to Hosking.
Those cracks are getting wider. This is very tiring to have to defend it against this amount of ball movement.
Good support play too. Now the kick. Out towards the sideline. Any coach would have to wear a smile after that one. Good solid passage. And just the right kicking game on the end. Well, he's not smiling. Maybe inside.
Doesn't want to give too much away. There's still, as I said, there's still a long time to go.
Johns. Hoff. He'll have to come into the line a lot more. Big crowd here at Brookvale. 18,689. Kerrod Walters. A little bit of one-out stuff from Brisbane. Johns. This is where they have to get together with each other. Manly are showing them how it's done. Charge down from Lyons, tackle without the ball. Somebody will be in the bin, surely. No. Annesley has given 6 more to Brisbane. Lyons was after the ball, but Gilmister tackled him. Missed by the referee. Should have been a Manly penalty.
And missed by the touch judges as well. That's just as important.
Gilmister. So Brisbane get a chance to post a try. Kevin Walters. Johns. Good tackle from O'Connor. Hoff has it. And O'Donnell has him. Langer. Calling Kevin Walters around him. To brother Kerrod on his knees to Langer. Langer still travelling. Out wide. Reynolds there, so Stokes. Toe to head. But straight into the arms of O'Connor. The bounce of the ball favouring Manly there. The try looked on for sure for Brisbane. They had so many players left over. 2 and 3 was the overlap. And straight into the arms of the only Manly player, Michael O'Connor.
And that was intelligent work by Michael O'Connor, who floated around in cover defence, anticipating an overlap. He just happened to be in the right spot at the right time.
That was the one they needed, Brisbane. Hosking. He was running strongly, but tremendous defence from G and Dowling. Bella hasn't really eventuated the big tussle between Bella and Dowling.
No, there's been too much ball movement to see much of a tussle in tight, and the penalties there, 7-3 in favour of Manly. That's something that'll be concerning Wayne Bennett as well.
Lions. Good ball to Hasler. Here goes Kevin Iro. Changes the ball. He throws Hancock away. Couldn't get away from Hoff, but what a try. Stokes gets the try, but it was Kevin Iro who did all the damage. He's been a handful from the start of the game. On the MMI replay, Lions started it beautifully, but just look at the strength, the power of Kevin Iro. Changes the ball, and he just says to Michael Hancock, get out of my way. He tried to do the same to Hoff. Off balance, magnificent ball to Stokes. Now you know why Manly and Graham Lowe chase strongly for the services of the big Kiwi.
Yeah, Manly feel they've got Brisbane rattled out wide, and they certainly have. Brisbane's defence is not moving up, giving the likes of Cliff Lyons and Des Hasler plenty of room to move, and they're getting numbers out wide as well. You talk about the strength of this man, but I'm surprised by his pace, because Hancock there, he ran away from Hancock, fend him off. He offloads on the inside to Stokes, who just happened to be perfectly positioned. Great support play from the winger. He goes over for his 6th try of the season, and that's a huge lead now to Manly.
Stokes with the try. And from right in front, Matthew Ridge just adds another 2 hurtful points. Manly 20, Brisbane 0. Kevin Iro, no doubt, playing himself into test form. Surely those New Zealand selectors will be making sure that they add his name to the list of the squad to take Australia on in the second test. How could you leave him out?
Well, he went into this test match head-on against the test players in Johns and also Shearer, and he's definitely got points on those two guys.
Lions to Tuvey. The confidence will be brimming with Manly now.
Cliff Lyons playing a lot better today. He got dropped after that first State of Origin match, and I think it took him a long time to recover from it.
And Bill, the man alongside him, Jeff Tuvey's having an outstanding game as well.
Yeah, just how tough is he? You know, he had that shoulder last week. It looked like he wouldn't play today, and he's come out here. He's made every tackle he's been asked to make. He's even taken high bombs. He's a terrific little player.
Ridge forced to put in a left footer. Hoff. A big step from Paul Hoff won't get him through the tackle of Hasler. Willie Kahn. No doubt that injury to Gene Miles threw this Brisbane side out of gear. But Manly lost the services of Ian Roberts. They've recovered from that one. Langer trying to break it up a little now. Well read by Craig Hancock. And Hancock gets taken by Hancock. Iro now. He took the front row to put him down. O'Donnell. I don't think anybody should underplay his performance in the hooking position for Manly today.
He's made several damaging runs from dummy half. He's had a great game, particularly in defence.
Lions. O'Donnell gets finished up on the 22. Hosking, last tackle, he'll have to get rid of it. One of the few mistakes from Manly since half-time. And Brisbane with the chance to post their first try. Conway. Conway running well. Langer. He and Hoff didn't get it right. Now Kevin Walters will try with Steve Renouf. He beats two. Runs away from Ridge and Tooby and Jones. And a great short ball at Gilmeister. Meters away. They look to have numbers on the right. Kevin Walters. Can't. Good defence from Manly. One of their strong points, the Sea Eagles, whenever they're down close to their own line, their defence really does scramble well. Brisbane at 6s and 7s, getting themselves a little bit lost. Great handling there from Khan. 6 more tackles was the signal. But as they get another 6, they go over the sideline, Brisbane. They can't take a trick. There was a Manly hand in there somewhere. In back play, Annesley had said 6 more, but Conway couldn't stay away from the chalk.
There's tremendous bustling defence from Manly, but Brisbane, since their skipper Gene Miles has left the field, their organisation tends to have fallen apart. They don't tend to be organised at all.
And that's the way it is for the defence here, as O'Connor gets out to halfway. Stokes. He didn't have anybody to pass it to. 61 tackles in the opposition half for Brisbane. Only 33 for Manly. It's an unbelievable story with the way this scoreline is. Hosking. Couldn't believe it, could you? 20 points with only 50% less possession in the opposition's half. Tuvey. Bad pass. Bella goes back for it. And he gets fired up. And he gets it to Iro. Stokes didn't have much room to work with. One more tackle for the Sea Eagles. Ridge, the dummy. Then puts the ball up. Gets put down by Testman. Was it late? Play on, said Annesley. The kick goes up. And Testman just out of shot there. Hard to see whether he was committed to the tackle. He may have been. Johns has tried pretty hard. He hasn't got too much clean ball out in the centres. Kevin Walters. In this second half, even when you look at the possession they have had, Manly have shut Walters and Langer down around the halves very well.
Yeah, they certainly have, and I think their job has been made a lot easier because there's been no support for Langer and Walters. They become effective when they've got runners and options to pass to, but they've had no options, and as a result, the defence has just closed them out.
Greg Hancock. 30 handling errors all told in this game. Jones. This is a big effort from Manly. They know they're going to lose players to the test scene against New Zealand. Chris White puts it down. Make that 31 mistakes with the hands. Easy pass. He just had a quick look at the defence to see where they were.
That's been the story of the game, not so much for Manly. Manly have made a lot of mistakes, but for Brisbane, they've put a lot of easy ball down in this match, and they haven't really threatened Manly's line in this second half because they've had no organisation there.
Andrew G. Renouf. Thrown to ground by Iro. And now he gets thrown to ground by Stokes. Stokes doesn't want to have anything to do with it. Now Annesley is going to rule that he had markers and that he picked the ball up in the ruck. O'Donnell with the restart to Bella. A good run into the 22. One of those charges of his that lifts this side to something special. Hosking tries to do likewise. One Bronco is down. Lyons dummies once. Now to O'Connor. Craig Hancock. Lyons stays alive too in support. Looking to keep it travelling. Now the trainer is trying to get the attention of the referee. He believes that the man that is injured seriously. The ball comes out near the injured player. Bella has it. Kevin Iro. And Renoff puts him down. Now Annesley hears the call. Now Conway has been rolled over by the trainer just to make sure that there's a passage there for plenty of breathing for him. A head clash. Kerrod Wallers and Conway. So Conway heavily concussed. And Kerrod Wallers straight over the top, bang. So in the space of a couple of weeks, I think it was Mario Fennick and Adrian Toole, that big head clash, Norths and Penrith. Teammates on teammates. The cheer for Martin Bella, who's been called to the bench for Manly. The ovation for a job well done. Also for Hosking as Manly makes 2 replacements. So both front rowers off. And Conway back to the dressing room on the stretcher. Manly still in possession. Glenn Bourne with his first touch in this game. Jones. Ridge kicking. I think that was for Craig Hancock and also Lyons, but it was too strong. Nearly 19,000 here at Bookfile today. Most of them happy about that 20-0 scoreline. Andrew G loses it. Chris White has it.
Manly dictating the terms in this second half, Graham, with their defence. I know they've put plenty of points on the board in this match, but it's really been their defence that has won the game. They've just given Brisbane no room to move and no room to put their plays on out wide.
Lyons getting back to something like his best in this game. Hasler, he was at his best against Canterbury last week. O'Donnell to Tuvey. At the start of the year, Manly showed that they might just be the side that could take out the Winfield Cup. In the last fortnight, those signs are really reappearing. O'Connor to the blind side, to the in goal. Off one Brisbane player, back into the hands. No, O'Connor doesn't get it back. It's Johns with it. Manly have missed the most tackles.
And not only is the error rate high in attack, it's also very high in defence too. That just shows you how good these sides are at attacking. They've got great footwork, both teams, great support play, and both sides have missed a lot of tackles.
Shearer.
But when it counts down in an attacking situation to try and put pressure on the attack, the Manly side has far and away won this match in that department.
Again, good defence from Manly as they trap Chris Johns. Back to Langer. Ridge, at his best with the goal kicking today, and solid in general play also. White. Good ball as he stands in the tackle to O'Donnell. Great little ball from O'Donnell to Bourne. Lyons. Tuvey. O'Donnell trying to sneak some up the middle. Jones to Lyons. Try and break them in the back line. Comes free. Falls for Ridge. Happy to try and travel backwards before they find a gap out wide, Manly. O'Connor. Shaped as if he was going to kick. Got the ball inside. And another bad break for Brisbane as Tasman gets a hand to it but knocks on. So more possession coming for Manly.
Yeah, we see Manly here trying to push the ball again. They're in a situation where they can do that, but Andrew Tasman almost got the intercept. But in fumbling the ball, Jeff Tuvey's got the feed and Manly result in possession.
Awful pass from Tuvey for his 5'8" Lions. Doesn't matter. He still has time to get around behind him. Bourne. O'Connor at first receiver. Ridge into the back line. The ball looked forward to Hasler. But it doesn't matter. Hasler gets the try. Hasler scores right next to the posts. So these easy kicks for Ridge will continue. He was the man to help lay it on the MMI replay. He went inside Lyons. And this pass here certainly looks forward. But Hasler sights the gap and streaks away from Khan and also Hoff.
And the Broncos made the fatal mistake of once again hanging off Cliff Lyons. He just played the violin here. He had plenty of time to manoeuvre around. Offloads inside to Ridge. Ridge to Hasler, very close to being a forward pass. Hasler sights the goal line, and with that sort of space to move, you can't stop Des Hasler.
Not just a forward pass to Hasler. Just about should have been a penalty.
Oh, look.
Now Ridge. Another 2 points and an embarrassing scoreline for the Broncos. 26 points to 0. Wayne Bennett, the Brisbane coach, will be thinking about semi-finals and how hard it will be from here. Trying a little short kickoff. It doesn't work as Lyons reads the play. Again, that crowd continued to let Dale Shearer know what they thought about him. He was definitely looking for a big game today, Dale Shearer, but if he wanted to keep a test spot, this wasn't the game. Not a good one at all for him here.
No, he struggled right throughout this match. His defence in particular has been pretty ordinary, but then again, you look at the man he's been trying to contain, Kevin Iro, and that's a tough task for anybody.
Annesley moves play away from the injured Jones. Stokes. He gets away from Shearer, keeps it alive. Tuvey unloads to Ridge. Ridge, a one-hander for Michael O'Connor, who leaves it. No, there's a little knock on there. I know it makes it pretty hard, Bill, about losing Miles in the first half, but it still has been a flat display from the Broncos.
In a game that was so important to them, I thought they'd lift themselves and give a monumental performance, but once Manly get on top, they're hard to stop.
Lyons quickly for Stokes. Chris White. That's really shortened up the opposition half possession. It was 2-1 for Brisbane at one stage. Lions to this back line that has worked so well today. A little kick ahead from Iro. Taken by Khan. I just wonder if this performance from the Broncos may do some of their players harm also for the test side outside of Shearer even. Gilmester. Hancock in midfield looking for some possession of his own inside the last 5 minutes. Renoff trying to get the Broncos on the board at least. Shearer. Well picked up at his bootlaces. Kevin Walters now the kick ahead. But that's too easy for Ridge. Taken strongly by Kevin Walters, thrown to ground and thrown free. Craig Hancock off his wing. The Manly forwards now just needed to do the simple task of killing some time. First it will be John Jones. Somebody in the crowd does his best to impress Graham Annesley with a full-time siren.
Wayne Bennett might have got to the hooter.
Little kick from Hasler straight into the hands of Kevin Walters. Khan. Back to Chris Johns. Another mistake on an early tackle.
And once again, Graham, a lack of communication amongst the Brisbane players.
Graham Lowe looking like a losing coach.
He's still worried. I don't know why.
Turvey. 26 points to 0. This will really throw Manly into contention for this Winfield Cup. And there'll be a few sides in the top 3 that'll be looking over their shoulder. Glenn Bourne.
I'll let you know.
Turvey wrapped up short of halfway. One more tackle for Manly. Ridge just to the sideline. And that'll force some tired Brisbane forwards back for the scrum 10 metres out. Photographers hard at work with a winning bench and smiles from Hosking and Bella.
Yeah, the Bruce brothers, they don't look too enthusiastic on that bench because they put in a huge effort. They burned some energy up today.
15 times the Broncos have coughed up the ball today, and 9 of those 15 have been before the second tackle. That has been the statistic that has told the story for this Broncos side. Michael Hancock, the last flutter. A good run from him. The tackle wasn't completed. This time it is. Gilmester. Taken well by Cliff Lyons. Graham Lowe and Wayne Bennett, a rare sight as the opposition coaches sitting just about next to each other. Langer. Taken after the kick. That'll bring the penalty. A quick restart from Langer. Kevin Walters. I was going to say add that statistic one more time, but Manly were offside, and Hasler will get 10 minutes in the bin for never retreating after that quick tap. But that'll be an early shower for Des Hasler.
It's a sneaky way of making sure you get some hot water.
He will make sure of it. There's the siren. He'll only have about 10 seconds head start, Hasler. Graham Lowe, very satisfied with what has been a big Manly performance. They were good in the backs with O'Connor and Iro causing plenty of damage. And Brisbane made mistake after mistake. 26-0 Manly, a double to O'Connor. Stokes Hasler added some tries. Ridge with 5 goals. The Broncos couldn't add a point. What a performance, 26-0. After this break, we will be back with all our Friday night highlights as the Canberra Raiders get back on the rails against North Sydney. Well over 18,000 here at Brookvale today, and some of those fans get to celebrate with the players. Wayne Pearce will be celebrating as soon as they come off with our MMI man of the match.
A tremendous performance by Manly in both attack and defence, and our MMI man of the match was David O'Donnell, who was involved in the thick of the action for the full 80 minutes. Dave, it's taken you a while to get your first grade spot back, but you did it in style.
Yeah, it's been about 7 weeks now, and I think I'm over the injuries that I've had this year, and hopefully I can continue on until the end of the season.
A tremendous performance. Is there room for improvement?
There's a lot of room for improvement. You know, like we said, we're leading up to the semis now, so we're always looking to improve.
I don't think you can improve on your personal game very much, and for a tremendous performance, there's $1,000 courtesy of MMI, the quality standard in insurance.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank MMI for the award and Channel 10.